Hey guys, how's it going? tmanplays here with another Warno video for you. This is the game 2 of the Warno monthly for February. For this matchup, we're going to be playing as the 5th French Armored, and we are facing Fantix, who's playing as the 39th Guards. So, not really an ideal matchup for me. I would have much rather had 3rd, 79th, or 7th Panzer, but all those were banned for this game. So I picked just another armored division so that I'd have plenty of tanks just to kind of keep them at bay. I've already won the first game, so just really need a draw or another win here to go to the finals or the championship round. But not really too happy with the 5th French pick. So my game plan is going to revolve around winning early, since his T80 BVs and BMP3s will be a big problem for me in the late game. So you'll see already some of these recon units. I'm trying to route some units behind his line. AMX-10 here, VBL here, and then just another AMX-10 here with some recon infantry here that can push up through this tree line. On the right-hand side, using a Alouette to kind of go up, spot if he's bringing SU-25, because that can basically ruin my opener. You'll see we also have some recon moving around the right side here. And then just some recon infantry going to this building, because I basically want to take control of this side with all of my French infantry, keep them out of this objective. That's going to be my key to trying to win this game. See in the back, have the CV, some voltagers, anti-char, sashers, and a roll in 3 for air defense. And I bought a Mirage F1C just to deal with this Mi-24K that I've now spotted with my Alouette. So, going to be bringing that in for a gun run. It is going to get some nice hits in there, route the helicopter. We're going to pull that back around and then try and go in for a second gun run. Fortunately missed the missile hit there, and I believe it's left on like 1 HP, but our Mirage gets hit, so forced to evacuate that. And I want to make sure that this goes down, so I'm going to buy another Mirage F1C just to make sure that gets taken out and is no longer an issue. AMX-10 here, fired at by the Conqueror, so we're just going to smoke that off, pull it back. Mirage there going to be able to finish off the recon helicopter. Getting fired at by the OSA also gets hit, but does survive. And now we just have an infantry on infantry engagement. So on the left, just routing my units behind, moving up my recon infantry now, and just kind of staying defensive here with the Milan 2 and the Mistral. On the right, also moving this unit behind his line, and then staying defensive with the anti-char here. So recon UAZ, gonna try and go through my line, but Milan 2 and the AMX-10 here, gonna be able to deal with that. Down it goes, and we see some Conquerors moving to this building. But I at least have my infantry up in this area. Gonna try and finish off these Sapuri that were trying to escape. But just playing very passively for now, trying to get control of this side before I can push into here. I want to just keep all these tanks away from this area, because if he pushes his tanks through here and I can't do anything about it, then it kind of destroys my entire supply line into the objective. Really just trying to finish off these Sapuri, but I just don't want to lose my Grenadier Voltigeurs at the same time. So I'm going to try and move across the VAB just to get the final shots on those. See, they do get into line of sight there, and able to take those out, so that's at least a good kill for me. On the right side, I see the exceptional optics helicopter here, so gonna try to move that into deeper forest, but it looks like he spotted me anyways, so that is no longer viable. Bought an AT Jaguar just to see if I could get an early kill on a T80BV, but Vantic's gonna be smoking that off. We're gonna miss anyways, and we're gonna get hit by the OSA. Try and get out of there. And we are gonna make it out alive. So with our Grenadier here at low health, Motorstroke gonna be able to finish us off. And the VAB, if these Motorstroke move up, will go down. So just calling up some AMX 30B2s now, as well as some more infantry. But want to start increasing my tank numbers here for an eventual push out on this side. And the anti-char can be moved up here in case this T80BV decides to get in close. That's kind of my strategy to deal with heavy armor that tries to push through here. But the T80B gonna come out on the other side there, start getting shots on my B2. We're just gonna have to smoke that off because one more hit from that T80BV and our AMX 30 would go down. See, I move across the anti-char here, get at least one hit on the T80BV there, deal some good damage. But now we're gonna have to pull that back. And on the right hand side, Mi-24 VP gonna be able to deal with my VBL there. So no longer viable to sneak anything around there, but on this side, I'm at least now able to see whatever he brings down this reinforcement road, and I can snipe anything in the back here. So we do see that he's just bringing some supply here, and this is just to give me an idea of what he's putting in this area, so that if I do eventually push this side, I have an idea of kind of what he's bringing in, so I can counter it. So I do have two B2s now, but this one here, gonna have to pull back from that BMP3. Don't really want to get hit by a missile there. And our Gazelle Hot gonna be able to get a BMP1 there. Moving this P4 just to have line of sight over this area. Unfortunately, Motorstroke kills one of my B2s, and Inosa kills a Gazelle. So you'll see, bring around some commandos now. This was very ambitious and perhaps not a good idea at all. So I didn't know if he had anything here. Didn't want to take a chance of getting my transport sniped, especially by the Conquerors unit that we spotted. So you'll see now, I'm routing these commandos all the way around to get into these buildings. Perhaps a little too ambitious there. But, you know, you got to try stuff. And this was my attempt to try and basically cut him off of this area so that eventually I would get, once this infantry got here, I was thinking I would start building up forces and then push through. Or once they were halfway, so on, push forces, get ready for an attack there. Just moving up my MX-10 along this tree line. Perhaps get a shot on this T-80B. And just having some supply around to repair the anti-char. So we do get the first shot on the T-80B, but then he's going to be able to spot me. So we don't want to get hit by that. We're just going to smoke and pull back. Get a nice shot from the P4 Milan there. Fortunately, his T-80B survives on 1 point of health. And my P4 ends up going down to a unit there. I see this Conquerors missile flying, so I'm just going to reverse behind the smoke and then pull it back again. And an Mi-24K has now spotted my VBL Milan, so he's going to be able to deal with that. So now my infantry starting to move up. I know I injured his tank heavily, so I should be able to get into this area no problem. And the fire support with the tank gun and autocannon on the infantry should favor me into pushing into this town area. Helicopter, though, that's a bit of an issue for me. So I'm going to try move around this Roland to maybe get line of sight. But he's going to go ahead and pull that helicopter back. And unfortunately, the recon helicopter on this side also spotted my AMX behind his line. So now we're just going to move the commandos back to defensive positions because I can't really push them there anymore with that helicopter around. Just kind of pushing up these B2s to get shots on the supply vehicle there. Not able to hit anything though. And you'll see just a bunch of AMX 30 B2s coming in to help with an eventual push here. As well as a Mistral unit that I've yet to unload, but I will push this into this town area with the chasseurs in order to just deny some of these helicopters. So I'm getting real tired of this helicopter, not able to deal with it. So what I'm going to try and do is ATGM the OSA, which we get, and then the 2 Mirage will then go after the helicopter. Unfortunately, though, Su-27 there gets some really great hits and takes out all 3 of my aircraft. So not worth it at all in the end. And all we did was just kill 1 OSA, and I didn't even get a helicopter. So that did not work out at all in my favor. And that's going to force me basically just to play defensive for a little bit, as now my entire Air Force basically got taken out within 20 seconds. But still being aggressive with my B2s, just trying to keep his infantry at bay here. And getting some P4 Milans as a way to deal with some of this heavier armor. So you'll see 1 hit from my B2 does 2 damage. A hit from his T-80 BV does 6 damage. So those are engagements that we don't really want to take. That just shows you how much better the T-80 BV is, as the B2 only has 11 front armor, and the T-80 BV has 17, T-80B has 14. So just a really hard matchup for tank-on-tank engagements. P4, they're going to be at least getting a BTR, and we're pulling back our Mistral for repairs. No real movement on this left-hand side. I did position this commando unit here to be able to see if he tries to sneak anything across. Just everyone's focus on this right-hand side. My main reason for not being aggressive over here is he could just have 1 T-80 BV in this tree line, and it would basically take a lot of work for me to be able to kill that. So I'm just deciding to continue my push over here, as I feel like I'm at least doing okay for now. He is starting to get quite a lot of armor up, though, and that's a problem for all these B2s that I have, especially if I'm losing them before I can even do a bit of damage on the BV. But yeah, I would have much rather had a division like 5th Panzer for this matchup. I just didn't really think about it for the time, and my strategy was to kind of flank around, cause him issues from behind, capture this early. But as you can see, 14 minutes into the game, we're not executing on that strategy at all. B2 here going to be helping. This engagement does get hit by Conqueror's unit from the edge of the building here. Recon helicopter goes down there. P4 Milans, though, at least able to do better damage against the BVs, so I'm just trying to pair these up with units now, just to make sure that they can help deal with the heavy armor better as the tank focuses on the B2, and the P4 Milan can just kind of fire at will. Thinking that's kind of my new way to win some of these engagements. Milan 2 at least gets a good kill on infantry transport. And I've now moved up my Mistral unit with my chasseurs, so we're at least getting some ground on this side. Not really an engagement we want to take, so we're going to try pull that B2 back while getting our P4 Milan to get a shot on target there. Fortunately, the T-80BV going to be able to fire before the missile can actually get there. Chasseurs doing what they do best and missing the BMP-2. P4 here has some interesting line of sight on this T-80B, able to get some nice damage in. And our Mistral unit now going to be able to deal with this recon helicopter that has moved across. At least deny him optics there. And we see he is now resupplying his Conquerors unit here. Haven't unloaded this Mistral unit at all because all my focus is on this right side, and since he's not really moving here, none of my attention is on this side. I'm all just trying to slowly gain ground in order to push him out over here. So you'll see, do get a nice hit from the AMX-10RC on the T-80B there. Trying to get that one killed off. We do get it killed off, so that's a very nice kill for me. At least able to get one of those away. Now I'm getting a little aggressive with the B2 placement and trying to push up these anti-chart, but I do see the helicopter here and the fact I don't have any AA, so we're going to be ordering a rolling 2 up before I push. But yeah, this helicopter basically denies me from pushing right now as I don't have anything to deal with it. If the helicopter wasn't there, I would have pushed basically everything I had at that point. Could move up to Mistral, I suppose, but yeah, no, didn't really think about that at the time. Just kind of trying to keep those where they are. He did push up a little bit of a small force here, killed my Mistral unit before I could unload it. So tank in the rear, going to be just trying to hold these units back. And I'm moving up the commandos just to help. If this infantry gets a little too close, they can fend it off before he is able to spot my VAB command there. See, just kind of creating a line of armor in the back in case he pushes into this area, so we can have a lot of fire support, basically to keep him out of here. T-80B trying to move up. AMX-10 hot, though. Gonna be able to kill that off. And also in the back, you see that he has a helicopter here, but it's landed, and it turns out this is actually out of fuel. So, Gazelle hot, gonna be trying to hit that. Misses the first 2 rockets. Tries to get a 3rd rocket. Misses. And the last ATGM coming in. And it misses again. So, for, you know, 50% accuracy, not doing a great job as it misses all 4 shots. So RNG not on my side in this game, as even the AMX-30B takes 2 shots. So Fantic's starting to gain some ground on the right-hand side. Gonna be forcing me to move back my Mistral unit, but it's gonna go down anyways. And I did finally get some recon here so I can spot units he has right in front of me for my eventual push. And our rolling 2 now coming up. Commandos, just gonna kind of park them here in case he brings any units past. They can get shots on the side and whatnot, and it just gives me information on what he's got in this area. E2 going for the VAB there, so we're gonna smoke that off. We're also gonna pull back our AMX, as we know he has infantry here, so he might be able to have line of sight if we fire. So not the best circumstance to be in. Trying to move up some anti-char for possible armor he has in this area. AMX B2 does go down, but you'll see I have 2 Brennis in the back, as well as just a tank here to be able to hit anything that tries to push up on this side. And I have another AMX coming in, but we're going to reverse that a bit, as we don't want to be getting shot and going down easily. Mistral, great unit, as it has 2,800 meters of range, so able to deal with another recon helicopter there. And if he pushes across this VP just a little bit further on this side, we can also deal with it that way. B4 trying to get the T80BV. Gonna get a nice 4 damage hit there. And you see that he's pushing across some T62s. Do get hit on the AMX-10 there, so we're going to be pulling that back. My other AMX-10 going to be going to this corner here to get a shot on these that are approaching. B2 also coming up to help against these Sapuri that are pushing. Finally move up my Mistral unit there to help deal with this helicopter so I can push. T80B2 misses the T62. AMX-10 at least gets the kill. And other AMX also missing the T62. AMX-10 there are going to go down, that's painful, as well as the VAB. So some pretty bad engagements from me there. And our Brennis now getting fired upon by something that we can't even see, which is also not great. So finally able to see what's hitting us. Turns out to be a T80B. So I see the one T80B. I'm going to move across this Brennis to help with this engagement. Unfortunately though, 3 tanks going to show up, all T80Bs, all 3 basically going to get hit on my Brennis there and take it out. And we are solidly losing this engagement as both our Brennis now go down, as well as a hull breach there on our AMX-10. So now my entire push here has just kind of collapsed. And you'll see I was even moving across the VAB just to kind of see what he had here before I pushed. Still going to be bringing up some commandos, as I still think his infantry force here is weak. But we're going to need a lot more armor now in order to deal with his armor. Just have some alouettes along the sides to spot anything he's perhaps bringing behind my line. I didn't really notice that this Gazelle Hot was still back here, as it ran out of ammo. And now I'm just trying to get 3 more AMX B2s up for my armor. So he is starting to gain some ground on this side, which is a problem, as I don't really have much here. I do have the Hot here that can help if he tries to push across, as well as the Milan 2 and the Mistral. But besides that, no real armor. So if he would have just kind of pushed some T80Bs here and started pushing across, that would have been catastrophic. And you'll see just kind of exploring what he has here. But T80Bs here going to be a big issue for the anti-char, and we're going to rethink our choices pretty quick, as we're going to decide to just pull that back. It's not worth it. AMX-10 pretty much missing all its shots on these T80Bs. It would have been nice if we at least got something there, but we get nothing in return, and we just lose another anti-char unit, which would be useful if he tries to push armor. So also pretty dumb. See, bring up just some AMXBs here just to help with the infantry engagements. At least able to finally take out the Mi-24 there. And gonna move this supply just to this area to help with the P4 Milan here. Just having this in a position in case he pushes up these T-80Bs, so I can distract him with infantry here, get a P4 Milan shot in the side. It's just to help with my defenses. See artillery landing on my Milan 2 there. Gonna miss that shot there and gonna go down in return. Commandos, though, doing kind of what I needed them to do. Just hold this area, spot what's here for me, and then my B2s and my VABs that I had here could then just kind of engage those and deal with them. Left-hand side, you'll see no real movements again. I did order another AMX-30B here, just in case he decides to push some infantry across the open. That way I have some fire support. I can kind of deal with that stuff. And now all my B2s starting to arrive at the front, as well as another Brennis here. So moving some P4 Milans here now, just to try and help deal with some of this armor. We do at least get a nice side shot into one of the T-80Bs there. That'll at least help us with deterring a push. And trying to deal with this T-80B with the AMX 10 hot. Gonna be able to get another good kill there. So you just kind of have my tanks in a little line here with line of sight on all these buildings. That's because I see he has a lot of infantry in here. So I just want to deal with that the best way I know how, and that's with a bunch of these AMX 30B2s. And whenever one gets hit, we'll just pull it back for repairs and just kind of keep doing that over and over and over again. But we are at least able to clear out pretty much all this infantry in this area. And I'm bringing up some more recon on this side to make sure his recon unit isn't getting too far into my lines so that he can just artillery my command and whatnot. Still playing super defensively on this right-hand side, as I don't know what all he has over here now. And we see, just as the first artillery shell lands, I'm moving my VAB now, trying to get that into a better concealed spot. AMX 30B gonna be trying to deal with the BMP3 there. Missing 2 shots in a row though. Gonna miss 3 shots in a row. Four shots in a row. And then the first shot from the T-80BB there, going to hit it. So at this point, I'm thinking I have maybe an armor advantage. So you'll see just kind of pushing up all these AMXs. The B version though, I should not have pushed up. It was kind of hard to see if this was a B2 or a B. I thought this was a B2, so that's why I'm pushing it aggressively. But with the Bs, we want to keep these defensive as they don't have kinetic rounds. They just have high explosive, which will only do 1 damage to these BVs. So not worth pushing those at all. And we pretty much come out on the bottom end of those engagements. Brennis just gonna get 2-shotted by the BV there. Doesn't even get a hit in return. So French tanks really letting me down on these engagements. At least able to get a good shot on the T-80B there. But so far, losing pretty much every armored engagement that we take. See T-80B here firing at the B2. Don't really notice that though. And we're gonna get hit by a BB there, I presume. He did somehow see that my command went here, so just move that up just a little bit. Not really sure how he was able to tell that. Perhaps just a lucky guess, but not able to do any damage at least. So we save our CV again because CVs in the zone becoming very important now, as if one goes down, there's only 11 minutes left, and it's likely the other person will win the game if we can take out the opposing player's CV, or he takes out my own. So bring up some more infantry here because I feel like he's starting to push some of this armor up. Just want to have solid control of this little area and trying to repair my B2s that are injured, as well as getting another AMX-10 hot for over here in case he decides to push armor across this side. So just keeping his infantry at bay. And I'm perfectly happy to do that now, as I feel like he has a giant advantage in armor. So we're basically just trying to go super defensive now in order to get the draw. And maybe if we trade good enough, we can do a final push into his side. So you'll see a little desperation attempt here with the ATGM. I was going to target the BB there, but kind of forgot about this mid-flight and goes for the BMP-3. At least able to get a hit, but that's not going to survive and goes down anyway. So new wave of B2s coming up. Do get some good hits on the BB there, but we lose a B2 in return. Trying to deal with this T-80B, at least route it. And we're able to finish the kill, so that's solid. Gonna be smoking off the injured ones. And Mistral unit there, able to deal with the VP. So we are starting to get some good trades again that are keeping us in this game. Mistral out of AA rockets, so we're gonna have to repair that before we can fire on this B8. First one is a miss. Second one is a miss. Do get the Conqueror's unit there with the AMX B2. Third one, finally a hit. And this Mi-8 is gonna go down. And now we're gonna have to repair this Mistral unit. So you'll see this is kind of a little push action going on here, as I do have solid T-80 B2 numbers, and I have at least the infantry to act as support. So I'm gonna decide now's the time I really want to leverage this push, as I do think I kind of have them on the run a bit. So moving across my infantry to these buildings, moving my P4 Milan's across to help with these engagements against the T-80 PVs. Gonna be able to get a shot off there. Do get a nice hit. So push in full effect now. At least able to take out another T-80 BV there. And you'll see we're just kind of going for it now. So having some interesting infantry engagements here with our chasseurs and grenadiers. Moving up some more chasseurs in the back, as well as some voltagers, just to get through this tree line, as I think his CV is largely in this area. Not really utilizing my armor too effectively, though. I was trying to basically just get sight lines on these BMP-3s in order to take those out so that my infantry could then push forward. And I'm at least able to spot his CV, but not quite in range to be able to take that out. If I can deal with most of this armor here, this push should be a lot more effective, but T-80 BBK there, trying to get line of sight through here, and a couple of these T-80 Bs are dealing with my B2s very effectively. So before we get the shot off, another one goes down, and he's still got a fair bit of armor in this area. I do have more B2s now, so going to be pushing those up. At least able to control more of the zone now. P4 can be firing through there. He is going to smoke off though. And the only problem is with just 3 B2s here now, I don't really feel comfortable with pushing those up, trying to take out the CV, because if all these go down, I basically have nothing defending this area. So I'm just going to decide to keep these in reserve, as at least with a draw in this scenario, I still advance to the finals. You'll see though, I am bringing up more infantry for a further push and some more B2s, as well as just kind of sending some Milan teams to the left, as I thought he might be building up an armor push over here in order to kind of take me out in the final 5 minutes. So deciding to push over here again. Maybe I could leverage an armor push around if he has nothing in here. Milan 2 going to be trying to hit supply there. Gonna do what it does best though, and just continuously miss shots. So all my infantry units now coming up for kind of my last attempted push in this area, and because he has the BVK here, I also know I need to take this out in order to start capturing the zone. Gonna smoke off these units as I unload the infantry, and then move the infantry through the smoke across. And because we're in the final 4 minutes now, I know there's not too much I can do at this point, so you'll see now I'm just kind of spamming some Gazelle Hots on each side to just kind of send around his line, see kind of what he has, and just act as a defense in case his armor starts to break through my line. But I'm happy to take the draw at this point. And seeing as my chasseurs aren't really having a big effect here, and his T80 BVK, I likely won't be able to deal with this. We're just going to make sure that our line is solid, as well as on this side, make sure that we have the defenses in place in case he decides to start pushing across. So I'm trying to move up these Grenadier Voltigeurs to maybe spot the CV and get a kill, but those are going to be spotted right away. And the T80 BVK going to be able to do a lot of damage to those. And we're not going to be able to spot the CV. Quite possibly could have moved up my B2s into this area to better engage some of this armor and whatnot, even though it's likely they would get one-shotted by the BVKs, or the BVs. But yeah, like I said, happy just to play defensive here, take the draw. Not really too solid playing as the 5th anyways. I would have much rather had 7th or 79th for this battle, but both of those divisions were banned, so not able to pick those. And I think after this match, 5th Panzer would have actually been the better pick for me, as 2A3s would have been able to trade a lot better with the T80Bs. So just some defensive units hanging around as we're in the final 2 minutes of the game. Moving these Gazelles around the rear now, just to cause a distraction, keep him from pushing my main line, and if he does push, it won't be as effective. So you'll see kind of routing these behind just to maybe get a cheeky CV snipe. And just a line of Gazelle Hots, just keeping eyes over what he might push me with in the end. By this point, he spots my Gazelle Hots. You see that he has a command infantry. He was trying to sneak around, but not going to be able to make it to my objective in the final minute here. And his Su-25 is basically just going to be dealing with all my Gazelle Hots here, as I'm just basically trying to move these around behind him now, just to cause issues with his tanks and whatnot. So, from this perspective, you can see SU's just taking these out extremely quick. Most of they're going to be able to deal with the last one, and trying to just get a hit on a supply vehicle, which is not going to pay off, and it's going to go down anyway. So I don't think I got a single kill with any of those Gazelle Hots, which is kind of funny. So 39th, not having seed, at least gave me the advantage to use the roll in 3 here. I knew I wouldn't have to micromanage this at all, so I could just kind of order it and keep it on the battlefield. Sure enough, though, somehow he's going to spot that, and the C-25 AT going to be able to kill that off. Kind of funny. And with 3 seconds left, no one is going to be able to take the win. So you'll see I traded badly. I mean, not too badly, down, 600 point advantage. But I also knew I was kind of trading badly towards the end of the game and by mid game. So it became harder and harder for me to want to push, especially with my tanks not being very effective against the heavy armor of the T-80 BVs. And we did enough to get the draw, though. So we are going to the finals, which will be versus Hippie sometime uh, in the last week of February. So, with that being said, I hope you all enjoy, and I'll catch y'all in the finals later.